Last Tuesday, a guy drove into my shop with a brand new $58,000 SUV that needed a $4,200 repair at 38,000 miles. Turbo failure. Still under warranty, sure, but he missed 3 days of work waiting on parts. Meanwhile, parked 2 bays over, my customer's 2009 beater with 347,000 miles on it came in for an oil change and left 20 minutes later. No codes, no leaks, no drama. That beater cost him $11,000 4 years ago. The $58,000 SUV is already losing the reliability war to a vehicle that costs less than the tax and fees on most new trucks. Today I'm giving you 3 SUVs just like that one. Dirt cheap, ignored by everyone, built to hit 500,000 miles. I'm going deepest on number 1 because it's the one that makes every other SUV purchase look foolish. Let's go. Number 3, Lexus GX 470. Number 3 is a luxury SUV sitting on used car lots right now for the price of a decent mountain bike, and underneath that Lexus badge is something most buyers would pay double for if they knew what it actually was. It is a Toyota Land Cruiser Prado in a tuxedo. Last spring, a retired firefighter came in wanting me to look at a 2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee he found for $14,500. It was in decent shape with 94,000 miles, but it had the 3.6-liter Pentastar engine, which has a known oil consumption issue, and the front differential was already making noise. I told him he was about to inherit someone else's problems. He asked me what I would buy instead. I showed him a 2007 Lexus GX 470 listed for $13,200 with 128,000 miles. He said, "That thing's ancient." I said, "That thing will be running when your grandkids learn to drive." He bought it. 9 months later, he texted me a photo of the odometer at 149,000 miles. Not a single repair, just oil changes and a set of brake pads. Here is what nobody understands about the GX 470. Lexus sold it from 2003 to 2009, and underneath the leather seats and premium audio is one of the most over-engineered platforms Toyota has ever built. The 2U ZFE 4.7-liter V8 in this thing is the same engine family that powered the Toyota Land Cruiser 100 series. That engine is legendary. It is naturally aspirated, no turbos to grenade. It uses a timing belt, yes, and you need to replace it every 90,000 miles, about $800 to $1,200 at a good shop. But the engine itself is built with iron block construction and has been documented going 400,000 miles and beyond with nothing but scheduled maintenance. The 5-speed automatic is a proven Eisen unit that Toyota used across multiple platforms for over a decade. It is not fancy. It is not fast shifting, but it is virtually indestructible when you service the fluid every 60,000 miles. The GX 470 is also body-on-frame with a full-time 4-wheel drive system and a locking center differential with low range. This is not a crossover pretending to be tough. This is a genuine off-road platform with luxury bolted on. Average used price right now for a 2005 to 2008 GX 470 with 100,000 to 140,000 miles is $10,000 to $15,000 depending on condition. Compare that to a same vintage Toyota 4Runner V8, which commands $18,000 to $24,000 for similar mileage. The GX shares much of the same DNA, but costs thousands less because used car shoppers see a 2006 Lexus and assume expensive repairs. In reality, RepairPal gives the GX 470 a reliability rating of 4 out of 5, with annual maintenance costs averaging around $600. That is lower than many compact SUVs, half its size. Shopping checklist. First, check the timing belt service history. If it has not been done and the vehicle is over 90,000 miles, negotiate $1,000 off the price and get it done immediately. Second, inspect the lower ball joints. These are a known wear item on the GX470, and replacement runs about $400 to $600 for both sides. Third, check for dashboard cracking. Some models in hot climates developed surface cracks on the dash. Cosmetic only, but worth negotiating on. Fourth, look for a vehicle with complete Lexus dealer service records. Lexus owners tend to baby their cars, and a full service history on a GX470 is basically a certificate of immortality. The GX470 is the cheapest way into the Toyota Land Cruiser platform, period. Nobody talks about it. Nobody searches for it. And that is exactly why the price is so low. But if you think the GX is overlooked, this next one will make you question everything you thought about American trucks. The depreciation on these is criminal for how long they actually last. Number 2, Chevrolet Tahoe, 2007 to 2014 models with the 5.3-liter V8 Vortec engine. I know what you are thinking. A Chevy on a list about outlasting Toyotas? Hear me out. The numbers do not lie, and this engine has a 500,000-mile track record most people never expected from General Motors. A regular customer of mine, a plumber who puts serious miles on his vehicles, bought a 2008 Tahoe LT with 86,000 miles for $9,500 back in 2021. He drives about 35,000 miles a year, mostly highway. He is now past 190,000 miles. You know what I have done to that Tahoe? Oil changes, brakes, one set of wheel bearings at 165,000 miles. That is it. The 5.3-liter engine does not care. It just keeps going. And he is not alone. On owner forums, there is a well-documented 1999 Tahoe with the 5.3-liter Vortec that hit 557,000 miles on nothing but oil changes, a water pump, an intake gasket, and some alternators. Another owner sold a Suburban with 656,000 miles, and it was still running without a major engine rebuild. These are not fairy tales. These are documented real-world numbers from a pushrod V8 that refuses to quit. Here is the engineering reason. The 5.3-liter Vortec in the 2007 to 2014 Tahoe is based on GM's LS architecture. If you know anything about engines, the LS is one of the most proven designs in automotive history. It is a small block pushrod V8, which means fewer moving parts than any overhead cam engine. No timing chains stretching across a complex multi-cam setup, no variable valve timing solenoids to clog. Just a simple, efficient, ridiculously durable architecture that GM refined over decades. The engine uses a single timing chain with a short run from crank to cam, and chain failure is essentially unheard of under normal maintenance. The weak spot to watch for is active fuel management. Some 2007 to 2009 models had active fuel management systems that could cause excessive oil consumption. General Motors revised the system in later years, and you can have it disabled with a simple tune for $300. If you buy a 2010 or later model, this issue is significantly reduced. Market pricing is where it gets absurd. A 2011 Tahoe LT four-wheel drive with 100,000 miles goes for $12,000 to $16,000. A Toyota 4Runner from the same year with similar mileage goes for $22,000 to $28,000. That is a $10,000 to $12,000 gap for vehicles that, from a pure longevity standpoint, are playing in the same league. The Tahoe seats 8. It tows up to 8,500 pounds, and parts are everywhere. A water pump for the 5.3-liter engine runs about $350 installed. An alternator is $250. Brake pads for all 4 wheels are $280. These are some of the cheapest parts costs of any full-size SUV on the road, because General Motors made millions of these engines and the aftermarket is massive. Inspection tips. First, check the oil level and look for sludge on the oil cap. If the previous owner ran cheap oil on extended intervals, walk away. The 5.3-liter needs consistent oil changes to go the distance. Second, check for transmission shudder between 40 and 60 miles per hour. A fluid change and filter replacement fixes most early shudder for about $250. If the shudder is severe, the torque converter may need attention. Third, look at the rocker panels and wheel wells for rust, especially on vehicles from northern states. The Tahoe's body will give out before the engine does in salt belt regions. Fourth, test the 4-wheel drive system by engaging it in a parking lot at low speed. Listen for clunking or binding. The transfer case actuator is a known wear item and costs about $350 to replace. Who should buy this? Families who need real space, towing capability without a truck bed, anyone who wants a highway cruiser that can do 250,000 miles without breaking a sweat. This is the working man's full-size SUV, and the 5.3-liter Vortec earned its reputation the hard way by simply refusing to die. But as solid as the Tahoe is, number 1 is the SUV I have been recommending to anyone who asks me what the single best long-term used vehicle purchase is right now. It is so obvious that it is invisible, and the pricing makes absolutely no sense for what you are getting. If this kind of straight talk helps you, hit subscribe. I have more videos coming that dealerships would rather you never see. Number 1. Toyota Sequoia. The second generation, from 2008 to 2019, with the 5.7-liter iForce 5.8. Picture this: a full-size, body-on-frame SUV built on the same platform as the Toyota Tundra. 3 rows of seating, a 381-horsepower V8 that shares its DNA with the engine in the Toyota Land Cruiser. A frame engineered to tow 7,400 pounds without flinching. And you can buy one right now with 100,000 miles for less than a new Nissan Kicks. Nobody is shopping for these. That is the opportunity. 2 years ago, a family of 6 came into my shop. Dad was looking at a 2017 Chevy Traverse priced at $19,000. I inspected it and flagged a leaking transmission cooler line and a timing chain that was on borrowed time. The repairs would have been $3,500 within 12 months, easy. I asked if he had considered a Toyota Sequoia. He said he did not even know Toyota still made one. I pulled up a 2013 Sequoia SR5 with 108,000 miles for $16,500. Bigger vehicle, more towing capacity, a V8 that will outlive most 4 cylinders. And it is a Toyota. He drove it off the lot. 18 months later, he is at 142,000 miles. Total repairs, a set of spark plugs, and a serpentine belt, under $400 combined. His exact words, "This thing drives like it's brand new." Here is why I am obsessed with the second-generation Sequoia. The 3URFE 5.7-liter V8 is one of the most overbuilt engines Toyota has ever dropped into a consumer vehicle. It produces 381 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque through a 6-speed automatic transmission that Toyota refined over years of production. The engine uses dual overhead cams with variable valve timing, with intelligence on both the intake and exhaust sides. It is chain-driven. There is no timing belt to ever replace. The block is aluminum with iron cylinder liners designed to shed heat efficiently under sustained load. I have personally serviced these engines past 300,000 miles, and they still pass compression tests with flying colors. On owner forums and in documented cases, this platform regularly reaches 300,000 to 400,000 miles. One Toyota dealership reportedly has a parts delivery truck running the related 4.7-liter V8 with almost 600,000 miles on it. The 5.7-liter is the evolution of that same engineering philosophy, overbuilt, understressed, and designed to survive decades of abuse. The only common issue worth knowing is the secondary air injection pump. It can fail, especially in cold climates, and it triggers a check engine light. The fix costs around $400 to $800, depending on the shop. It does not affect drivability or engine longevity. It is an emissions component, not a structural one. Now here is where the math gets ridiculous. A 2013 to 2015 Sequoia SR5 or Limited with 80,000 to 120,000 miles sells for $17,000 to $22,000. Compare that to the 4Runner, which is the vehicle everyone obsesses over. A 2015 4Runner SR5 with 80,000 miles commands $28,000 to $33,000. The Sequoia gives you more power, more space, more towing, 3 rows of real seating, and the same legendary Toyota reliability for $10,000 to $15,000 less. The only difference? The 4Runner has off-road clout and a cult following that inflates its price beyond reason. The Sequoia just sits there, waiting for someone who can do math. If you want an even better deal, the 2008 to 2012 models with the 5.7-liter sell for $10,000 to $15,000. At those prices, you are getting a body-on-frame Toyota FIV 8 SUV with seating for 8 for the cost of a used Kia Forte. It is genuinely absurd. Inspection checklist. First, check underneath for frame rust. Toyota issued a frame recall on some early Tundra and Sequoia models. Make sure any recall work has been completed and inspect the frame yourself. If you see heavy surface rust or scaling, walk away. Second, test the AIR suspension if the vehicle is a platinum trim. The rear air springs can fail around 150,000 miles, and the repair is $800 to $1,200. If you want to avoid this entirely, stick with the SR5 or Limited, which use conventional coil springs. Third, inspect the front end for ball joint and tie rod wear. These are heavy vehicles, and steering components wear faster than on lighter SUVs. Listen for clunking over bumps at low speed. Fourth, pull the transmission dipstick. The fluid should be red or light pink. Dark brown or burnt-smelling fluid means deferred maintenance, and that is the one thing that can shorten the life of an otherwise bulletproof powertrain. Who should buy the Sequoia? Large families who need legitimate 3-row space in a vehicle built like a tank. Anyone who tows boats, trailers, or campers and wants Toyota dependability behind the hitch. Highway commuters who want a quiet, comfortable cruiser that they can put 200,000 more miles on without anxiety. And anyone who is smart enough to ignore what the market thinks is cool and buy what actually lasts. Who should avoid it? If fuel economy matters more than longevity, look elsewhere. The 5.7-liter V8 gets 13 miles per gallon in the city and 17 miles per gallon on the highway. That is the price of a V8 in a 5,500-pound truck. If you need something nimble for urban driving and tight parking, the Sequoia is 205 inches long. It is not small. And if you care more about resale value in 3 years than total cost of ownership over 10, the 4Runner's inflated pricing works in your favor on the way out. Here is my final take. The second-generation Toyota Sequoia is the most undervalued full-size SUV in America. It is Toyota's forgotten workhorse, overshadowed by the 4Runner's Instagram appeal and the Land Cruiser's collector market. But from a pure reliability and cost per mile perspective, nothing else comes close at this price point. If I needed to buy one SUV today, drive it every single day for the next decade, and spend the absolute minimum keeping it on the road, I would buy a 2013 Sequoia and never look back. So there it is. 3 SUVs that the market forgot, but your mechanic did not. The Lexus GX 470 has a Land Cruiser powertrain hidden under a luxury badge that nobody recognizes. The Chevrolet Tahoe with the 5.3-liter Vortec engine has documented cases north of 500,000 miles. And the Toyota Sequoia is the single best value in the entire used SUV market that nobody is talking about. You now know 3 vehicles you can buy for under $20,000 that will outlast SUVs costing 3 times as much. Next time a salesman pushes you toward a 3-year-old lease return with a turbocharged 4-cylinder and a repair bill waiting to happen, you will know better. If you want to know which specific model years to avoid and which ones to hunt for across every major brand, I covered that right here. It is the video that saves you from the one bad year that ruins an otherwise great SUV. If this helped, like the video and subscribe for more straight talk. Drive safe, take care of your vehicle, and it will take care of you. I will see you in the next one.